We've been talking a lot about this issue surrounding the Chicago Bears. On today's episode, we're going to talk about how the Bears can actually benefit from the strife and struggles of another NFL team. We're going to get into all that plus more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And so I want to start off with this, man. Listen, one thing that I think all Bears fans can agree on, no, it's not going to be Caleb Williams, it's not going to be the offensive line, it's not going to be Ryan Poles. One thing that we can all agree on is that the Chicago Bears absolutely fleeced the Carolina Panthers. And while, because of the Bears going through their own shit, I didn't get to talk about the fact that Bryce Young was benched by the Carolina Panthers and how it just continues the Bears absolutely, completely, and utterly just waxing the Carolina Panthers in that trade that we made for them. So with Bryce Young being benched and the Carolina Panthers still not being a very good team, while the Bears don't own the first-round pick of the Carolina Panthers in this upcoming draft, we do own their second-round pick in the draft. So that 2025 second-round pick could end up being a really good pick for the Chicago Bears team. So when you look at what the Bears have gained from trading the number one overall pick, which the Carolina Panthers took Bryce Young with, is DJ Moore, Darnell Wright, Tyreek Stevenson, Caleb Williams, and the 2025 draft pick. So we're still not done with everything that we're going to get from that, and it'll be really interesting to see who the Bears do draft with that. So Carolina benching Bryce Young is definitely something that benefits the Bears. And then on top of that, Andy Dalton, a former Bear, is going to be now taking over them as the starting quarterback there in Carolina. And so this is Ryan Poles' best move, right? This is the best move that he's made so far as the GM of the Chicago Bears. And I don't think that it's unequivocal in a case like that. At least for me, it is, right? It was by far the best deal that the Bears have made, that they've made under Ryan Poles' time here when you look at the amount of talent that we got back in that trade. Now, the key thing here is that with the Bears needing to address still things, right? We know, going into the draft, edge could be one. Offensive line needs to be the focus, in my opinion. And, in the second round is where you can get a lot of good starting caliber offensive linemen. Now, I'm not saying that the Bears may not look to draft one in the first round as well. They very well could, but having that additional second round pick and it being the Carolina's pick, it's going to offer and afford the Chicago Bears an opportunity to start shoring up this offensive line, was the one thing that Ryan Poles has not addressed adequately enough yet. And so, the Bears keep benefiting from it. And this is the trade that just keeps on giving. We absolutely fleeced the Carolina Panthers in that trade. Absolutely fleeced them for it. And so, as we sit here now with the Bears, 1-1 on the season, make no mistake about it, a lot of Bears fans are still rightfully so frustrated and concerned about how this team is going to look going forward, how they're going to be able to adapt going forward, how much of the offensive line can realistically even be changed during the season, right? It's a lot of that when it comes down to it. But listen, the roster construction from the Bears is starting to be under fire, and rightfully so, right? You can't take away from that at all. Bill Belichick, he took a little shot at Ryan Poles when it's said and done with it as well. But listen, the Bears, they built it kind of backwards, right? And that's something that I said in yesterday's episode. It's something that me and Bobby talked about as well. Like, typically, teams like to build their offensive line first and then go out and make changes and things like that. The Bears, what Caleb Williams is walking into was considered one of the better situations that a first overall pick has ever walked into with the talent here. But all that talent, like we said, does not count for much if your offensive line is not going to protect that quarterback. And that's where we sit right now. So, him having an opportunity, to continue adding to that team. Yeah, we got one offensive lineman out of the trade with the Panthers. That's Darnell Wright. We still got a lot of things that we need to work and fix on it too as well. And, Bill Belichick, one of the things that he questioned is that should the Bears have targeted an offensive lineman instead of Rome Odunze, considering that they already made the trade for Keenan Allen? And, at the time, and I still understand it. I want to be clear here. The Bears' offensive line sucking is a travesty. But that still does not overlook that Rome Odunze, you have an opportunity to get a guy that could be a number one wide receiver in most drafts. You still get that guy to me. And the reason why I say that is that the Bears may not be in that situation again for a while, in my opinion, right? Like, we'll see where the Bears end up this season. I know, 1-1, there's a lot of gloom and doom Bears fans right now, understandably so. I'm not attacking you guys. But, offensive linemen are there, and you can get offensive linemen. It just sucks that right now where we are, and you see a clear, glaring issue with this team being the offensive line, and Ryan Poles has to eat that. When it's said and done, he has to eat that. And so Poles got to start looking at evaluating. You've set up these deals, you've set up your money correctly. You got to figure out a way to go out there and figure it out with the offensive line. And it does not seem like very many changes are on the horizon with the offensive line either, with the injuries and things that we have there. Kieran Amagaje does not seem ready, so I know some Bears fans have asked, why aren't we starting? Very few. I'm not saying a lot of you guys have asked, why aren't we starting Kieran? Flat out, because Kieran ain't ready yet. So, Coleman Shelton, has not been good either. Braxton Jones hasn't shined. Nothing on that offensive line has looked great. Now, it could be the sum of the parts. It could be that these pieces maybe don't work together, but we don't have a lot of depth that we can try now. Bates is gone, right? Matt Pryor is somebody I would like to see play more snaps, get more of an opportunity at multiple positions, because that's why we brought him in here. You hear the rumors, for example, of could the Bears go out and get David Bakhtiari? And this is somebody that, at 32 years old, make no mistake about it, could he come in and perform well? Yes, he could. But have the Bears had very much success in former Packers? No. No. And so, I hear the David Bakhtiari thing. I hear all that. And I'm not here to say that Ryan Poles shouldn't be looking to do something. I think I went on record in yesterday's episode and said, no, something needs to happen. And it's not just panic, it's evaluation, right? Some of the more or the less pessimistic Bears fans say, hey, we're 1-1. Why all the panic? Well, the panic is you got to see how the Bears shouldn't be 1-1. Let's be clear here, right? Our defense and special teams won us that game. But to say, hey, we're 1-1, let's not panic. Evaluation isn't panic. Review isn't panic. And when you look at this team, if you think evaluating this team and you come away saying, hey, something needs to happen with this offensive line, if you think that's panic, you're stupid. You're stupid. You're dumb. If you think that if it's panic, looking at how this offensive line has performed, that's not panic. Leading the league in sacks, that's not panic. Your quarterback, the amount of pressures that we've allowed, that's not panic. That's statistics. Now, one's to say that the Bears aren't always going to face off against defenses and pass rush as good as they have either. And that's why nobody's saying, hey, let's trade the farm. Let's trade our second round pick. Let's trade a first to go out there and get a guy now. But it's that if you keep evaluating it and looking at what we have, something needs to give, because it's not just going to change magically internally, but we'll see. We'll see ultimately. I'm not down on Caleb Williams yet. And you guys know, I'm somebody who I give years. It won't be this season. Now, I may be concerned if this season keeps going this way for Caleb, where we're not making connections down the field past 15 yards. I may be a little concerned about that. I'm going to talk about that, right? Absolutely. But I said it from the get-go. Caleb is going to have rookie mistakes. Not every generation, even though I never agreed with the generational label for Caleb Williams. Go back and look, right? Anytime I've said if he's supposed to be generational, but Caleb Williams can be a damn good quarterback. I'm not going to panic 1 year in with an offensive line as shaky as what we are and say that, the Bears are a bust. Let's start Tyson Bagent and all this stuff. No, we got to get it. We got to get it together. And the Bears, who are a team that weren't number one overall bad, you have the right to expect better from where this team is, what they've shown you so far. Now, the defense is legit. Let's just be clear here, right? In much as that I can throw legitimately as far as concerns and everything else about the offense and the lack of mobility right now from the offense, the one thing positive that you can definitely take away from this is that this Bears defense is going to be legit. This Bears secondary is going to be legit. When you look at last week's game, Tyreek Stevenson allowed 7 catches for 96 yards. 96 yards. That's bad, right? But he played much better in the second half. Jalen Johnson, 32 yards on 5 targets going his direction. Kyler Gordon, 22 yards on 4 targets. Our secondary is legit. Our defense is legit. The way that we adjusted, the way that we limited both their run game and their pass game in the second half of this game, the defense is legit. That's it. When you look at Tyreek Stevenson, he's giving up yards, to Calvin Ridley and Ridley and Collins, absolutely. But listen, everything with the secondary, this linebacking core, the Bears defense is legit. And that is one of the best things that we can take away and take into going forward, is that at least the defense, while it's not perfect, and it's never going to be perfect, right? For again, the pessimistic Bears fans that look at it and say, well, look at that first half of the game. Yeah, but look at how they adjusted in the second half. And now, you don't always want to just rely on that you're going to be able to out-adjust your team in the second half of the game. Make no mistake about it. I understand you don't want to live and die by just second-half adjustments. You want to have skill. You want to shut teams out. You want to play a more consistent brand of defense to where that whole game they struggle. Yes, we want to see that. That's all legitimate thoughts, right? But this defense is legit. And so the defense is going to put us in a situation where as our offense is struggling, much like in the first game, all the offense got to find a way to do is not hurt, right? Had the Bears not thrown 2 interceptions on top of that, we could have made, and we still were in a position to possibly win that game down the stretch of that game, right? So the defense is so good that it still can lead the Bears to some wins. Now, I'm not saying that just that defense we can look at, pushing into the playoffs. We're going to need the offense to get in line and get in gear for us to truly get to that spot. But it comes down to it like you have a great defense. And when you have that great defense, it allows you a little bit of time, a little bit of leniency. And we got to see how that's going to go for the Chicago Bears. But the Bears defense is the most legit thing right now about this team. And I absolutely love it. Again, defensive guy. Love it. Now, with that said, what are some of the things that we want to see be better for the Chicago Bears? Of course, the offensive line. I mean, that's just one thing that goes without saying, right? The offensive line is definitely something that we need to see. The pass protection, the run blocking, it can all be better. We've talked about that ad nauseum. We're not going to go into heavy detail with that. We got to get players to play better. That just is what it is. We have to get a better production from our offense, but how do we get that? I think the first thing that we have to do is that we have to start utilizing our playmakers more. That's DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, Khalil Herbert, right? Gerald Everett. We have to start utilizing these guys more. We have weapons. We got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of our playmakers so that they can make big-time plays, and then we can do something. Of course, there are things and aspects that go into that. It's not as simple as just getting the ball in the hands of your guys, but you got to find a way to do that. That is the first thing. This offensive line isn't changing. Ryan Poles more than likely isn't making a deal anytime soon. He's still in evaluation, and even if he was, teams know that the Bears would be desperate for it, so they'd have to give up a little bit more. But use your playmakers. Find a way to put them in the ball. And I think a big part of that is going to have to be relying more on the run game. We're going to have to do that. We have been a very run-heavy team we're really reliant on our run game for the last few years. And it may have to be another season of that. I get it. We got the dazzling weapons. We got those type of things. But you have to establish that run game. You have to make it a threat that you're going to run the ball against your opponent. Then that can open up some things down the field for you. But you have to utilize your playmakers. You have to put the ball in the hands of those guys, and you have to use that run game. We have a two-headed monster with Roschon Johnson being able to fill in. I'm past the point. You guys know I've been very high on Roschon since he came here to Chicago, and I'm not necessarily down per se on Roschon, but much like I've said with everything else, we're at the point where you got to show me. Roschon can't stay on the field. The dude is so drives for contact so much, he can't take contact. He gets so many concussions. And I don't want to see the guy's career shortened, but Roschon can be a weapon, but he got to prove it. So until that point, I'm going to focus on DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert. These guys have shown an ability to make plays. Khalil Herbert, probably more than anybody at this point in time, rely on your guys. Put your guys in situations. Whether Khalil Herbert is going to be a Bear long-term or not, I don't give a shit about that. That's up for Ryan Poles and those guys to decide. The thing I'm worried about right now is this Bears team winning football games, right? That's the thing that I'm on. Use Khalil Herbert. Use DeAndre Swift. Use Gerald Everett. Use Cole Kmet. These are 4 guys that need to be utilized more in your offensive scheme because it's easy offense. Getting the ball to your tight ends. Using more 2 tight end sets. That's easy offense. It's easier offense for your rookie quarterback, especially when you're not getting shit going down the field. Utilizing your dynamic running backs that can be used, especially in DeAndre Swift's case, in the run and the pass game. Find a way to utilize these guys. Get these guys in a position to where they can try to make big plays, and then let's build off of that, right? And that gets us down to the next thing that needs to happen for this Bears team. Be more creative in your play calling, period. Be more creative in your play calling. We've talked before about moving the pocket and these type of things, getting Caleb Williams under center, 2 tight end sets, using DeAndre Swift as a pass and a run, all this type of shit. We ain't seen none of that. This offense has been fighting to just look like anything symbolizing an NFL offense. And we've had a very small glimpse of it on the first couple of drives against the Texans. We need more. And Shane Waldron, that's what you were brought here for. Do your fucking job. Do your job, right? And I'm not with it. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm not with the people that think, oh, well, Shane Waldron, you can't criticize him because the offensive line. No, you can criticize him. I don't give a shit about that. Because that play calling leaves a lot to be desired for. Am I saying that it's all on the play calling? No, but it's definitely not all on the offensive line either. Now, we can talk about which way that's weighted more towards, but again, you still got to find a way. Like the shotgun on 3rd and 1s, that's one of the most idiotic things that you can do. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's dumb is what it is. So we got to find a way to do that. We got to find a way to also protect Caleb Williams, to try to get him out of harm's way, whatever way that we can. And so overall, Sunday, the thing that I'm looking for Sunday, how dynamic is our play calling? Is it better? Because if it's not, it's going to be a long, long season, right? We got to start getting these things better. And these are things that you can start doing, at least show. Now, if you go to being more under center and running more, if you go to 2 tight end sets and it doesn't work, all right, cool. That gives us more data. That gives us more bullet points. It gives us more things to look at on, all right, what else needs to be changed here? But overall, listen, people are laughing at the Bears at this point. Jeff Saturday came out and said this, man, when it came down to it. When people blitz him, it's done. Like, you have no shot. People are getting rolled up. When I tell you rolled up, meaning getting run over in the interior portion of the line, you can't just turn and open a gate to the inside portion of your quarterback. I don't care what quarterback you are. You want to make Tom Brady a near mortar or Peyton Manning, rush him up the middle, and that's what's happening. 9 sacks on 25 dropbacks. We are in significant trouble. That's what Jeff Saturday said. And he's not wrong. The Bears are in significant trouble for now. Now, this can start changing as quick as this week. The Bears are going to have to start turning some things around. And you can call it panic. You can call it whatever you want. Stupid people can call it whatever they want. But at the end of the day, what we've seen from the Bears right now leaves a lot to be desired. And there's more than enough reasons to be concerned about the Bears. The Bears' offense is trash as of right now. Our offense is trash for whatever reason. I don't know anybody who's going to argue any different. We can talk about the talent. I don't care what type of success you're having with the Bears on Madden. That shit ain't happening in real life, right? Nate Davis is lost. He is. But we got to play him right now because we have no depth behind him. Yeah, the offensive line could be a work in progress. That's all cool. That's all fine and dandy. It may take, like I've said, it may take till week 6, week 7 until we really see this offense all firing on all cylinders. But we got to get our shit together. We got to get our shit together. And let's hope that we're starting to get on that path of that. So there are some things that the Bears can control that they need to start doing better. And one of those, again, getting the ball in the hands of your playmakers, finding a way to incorporate the run game a little bit more, right? I think when you look at the injuries that the Colts have on that defensive line, this is a really good game for the Bears to not only start getting that run game going a little bit more, but to start getting, maybe build some confidence in going down the field and starting to set some things up. 155 rushing yards and 1 touchdown through 2 games. That's it. We paid a lot of money for DeAndre Swift. We still got Khalil Herbert here. Caleb Williams has 5 carries for 44 yards and he was the team's leading rusher in week 2 against the Houston Texans. Again, another story that we've seen before, right? Matt Eberflus saying this. Run game comes down to the basic. It comes down to your combo blocks. It comes down to guys working their helmet in the right spot, staying square, working the second level, spotting up the second level, sticking and staying on the second level. The perimeter blocking needs to improve with our push cracks, our crack blocking, and perimeter for perimeter screens. It just comes down to detail. It comes down to us being consistent as a group to be able to get that done. We've got the guys, we've got the coaches, we've got the players. We just got to be better at the details, be better at the fundamentals of running the ball. We do. Like, say what you will about Nate Davis. Say what you will about Braxton Jones. Say what you will about Tevin Jenkins. These are guys that typically are better in run blocking than pass blocking. Utilize that. Figure out a way to get that done. This is what we need to do, man. The Bears have a really big chance to get this running game going against the Indianapolis Colts. And I, for one, hope that that's going to be the case, man. I hope that that's going to be the case. And then when you look at the Bears' next 3 opponents after that, we have the Colts, we have the Rams, we have the Panthers. These guys have given up the most rushing yards per game so far in this young season. You got the Colts who've given up 237. 237. The Los Angeles Rams, 197. The Carolina Panthers, 199.5. That's what they're averaging per game. The Colts are giving up 237 yards on the ground per game. Run the fucking football. Like if we're running the football from the shotgun, I swear to God, I swear to I'm going to blow a gasket. I'm already not planning on being on the live call. I'm letting y'all know right now, don't plan to see my face on the live call. I'm probably not going to be there until this Bears team starts getting stuff together. You know how hard and difficult it was? Shout out to DraftKings to be on a 3.5 hour stream in which basically after the first quarter, what I wanted to do was scream. That's what I wanted. I wanted to throw something. Now that says a lot about me and the growth I need to do as a person, but that's where I was, right? We got to be better. We have to do better. Let's hope that we start seeing that for the Bears. But let me know what you guys think on that down below. Make sure you guys are following the show at Shy Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related, but that's thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.